Hello and welcome to stage 2 here at the OVO Energy Women's Tour 2019. We're down at the Kent Cyclopark today where the riders will take on a 25-lap circuit race, and it's going to be interesting to see how things play out after a tough day at the office yesterday. The riders set out from Beccles under grey skies and soon hit unrelenting rain. That put the dampeners on the race for the early part of the stage, but as the peloton reached the first iceberg sprint of the day, Corinne Rivera outpaced her rivals to scoop up maximum points and 3 bonus seconds in the general classification. She repeated the trick at the second sprint of the day, leading home a Sunweb 1-2-3. Christine Majerus took the honours on the first Skoda Queen of the Mountains climb at Little Wilnatham. As the riders approached Stowmarket for the first time, Abby May Parkinson made the first break of the day. She picked up the points for the day's third sprint and built up a lead that reached over a minute and a half at its peak. But it wasn't to be her day, and the chasing pack eventually reeled her in. So coming into Stowmarket for the second time, it all came down to a sprint for the line.
Jolien Dora, she won the first stage last year. Is she going to take it again? Yes, she is. Jolien Dora takes it.
So after stage 1, Jolien Dora has a 4-second advantage over Amy Peters, with Lisa Brunau 6 seconds back in third. Shayla Gutierrez-Ruiz is fourth, just ahead of Mariana Vos and Corinne Rivera. I'm delighted this morning to be joined by Hannah Barnes. Now, the sun is shining down on us, but different story yesterday. How grim was it out there?
Yeah, it was quite a hard day. I mean, it was long, so you at the start it was actually quite nice. It wasn't too cold, and it just got colder. And I actually had a part when I was thinking about being in my bed, and I was like, I think I need to go back to the car and get some more clothes. So, yeah, it was a challenging day, but I think it was a nice way to start the tour in Suffolk, because it's always a really great area, and a lot of people came out to support us, which was really nice.
Yeah, despite the weather, talking a bit about that support roadside for you, how special is it each year to come to the OVO Energy Women's Tour? It's
really special for me, going past the schools with all the children outside. It's really great, and we're going to get 5 days of that this year, which is really, really special. And yeah, I think just their enthusiasm, seeing us come past, I'm just hoping that they see us and want to do it themselves.
Certainly, and of course you, along with the peloton, are inspiring so many people roadside. And with that in mind, let's hear now from OVO Energy and how they are inspiring more women to be confident on their bikes.
Events like today are really important to discuss some of the concerns that women have, barriers to them getting on their bikes.
Women are 51% of the population, and yet men are 2/3 of the cycling population. That's a statistic that we have to change, a ratio that we have to address.
Kind of narrative, like I said, that's sometimes repeated in the news, and the statistics that are around it, and maybe how unsafe women feel on bikes as well. The narrative has to change around that.
I've cycled through Alaska in winter, I've raced across Europe. I often come back from a trip feeling invincible, thinking I was terrified of that. I didn't think I could do it, and now I have. What else can I do?
There are so many barriers to women taking part in sport full stop, and when it comes to cycling, then you get additional concerns, whether that's safety, whether that's economic barriers to buying a bike, practical things, where do you store it? But I think the more information we can get out there, the more we can help women to try and tackle those.
Understanding the barriers to cycling with the aid of a smart energy company like OVO Energy, it is fantastic, because it also leads us into considering smart tech and other solutions to help overcome those barriers.
It's great for me to see loads of women sort of breaking into the media now and sort of showcasing women's sport a lot more, which is great, but particularly I think that's a good thing to help everyday people break down the barriers that they might face when it comes to cycling, because ultimately I'd love to see more people cycling for a more sustainable future.
So the night rides are a great way to increase mass participation in cycling, and the fact that we'll be able to offset your carbon footprint with that is fantastic too.
Riding by night, especially in London, is one of my favourite things to do. I think a lot of people start off thinking it's going to be scary, it's going to be dark, it's going to be dangerous. Actually, when you're out there on the road on your own in the middle of the night, you're often the only person. And if you're covered in lights and reflective gear, if a driver comes along, they see you miles away, you see them miles away, and then you pass, you've got the whole night to yourself again.
was just lovely cycling through the city, you know, in the dark, and the light was nice this evening.
It was great. It was just great seeing London at night. You see more. I think you see more. You look up more when it's all lit up.
Loved all the flashing green lights. Felt really safe as well. So it's great to be out in the evening riding together.
Brilliant to see so many women out on the road there. And Hannah, how important are initiatives like this?
It's really important. I mean, for us, we're actually wearing this kit. It's the Rafa Women's 100, and it's when they try and encourage as many women to accomplish 100 kilometres in September, which, yeah, for me, it's really special to represent that. And I'm hoping that seeing us race past is going to inspire so many more women to get out on the bikes.
Yeah, and there's such a buzz here this morning at the Cyclopark, isn't there?
Yeah.
And what are you expecting from today? Because you've got a lot of circuit race background.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. It's a race that's very unusual for us to have. It's short and it's going to be really aggressive. The course is quite challenging with some corners, and the finish as well. It's also quite a drag up to the finish line. So I think a lot of riders are going to really enjoy it, and there might be a few riders that aren't going to be quite out of their comfort zone.
And it is nice, though, isn't it, that there's so many children that can actually get on this circuit themselves?
Yeah, it's a great venue. I mean, you've got the BMX track, and then you've got the mountain bike track around the outside, and yeah, just to have that area in the venue with no cars, just so kids can get out there and just enjoy the bikes, and yeah, and the parents also being able to enjoy them riding without worrying too much about the traffic.
And what are your predictions for how it's going to play out today on the circuit?
I think it's could potentially be one of the hardest days of the week. It's going to be strung out, and I think it'll be full gas for the whole 65 kilometres.
We can't wait to see you in action. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good luck, of course. And for now, let's take a closer look at exactly what is in store on the circuit here for Stage 2. At just 62.5 kilometres, Stage 2 is the shortest of this year's tour, but it should be an interesting one. The riders will complete 25 laps of the 2.5 kilometre Cyclopark course, with the iceberg sprints coming on laps 10, 15 and 20. Opened in 2012, Cyclopark is a state-of-the-art multi-sport activity venue. Within its 43 hectares are a closed-road tarmac circuit, 6 kilometres of off-road trails, a 340-metre BMX track and fitness centre. Located in North Kent, close to Ebbsfleet International Railway Station, Cyclopark has excellent transport infrastructure.
I expect a fast and furious race on this short circuit and really short distance as well. So I think it's really vital to stay in the front and be well positioned all the time to be able to do a good result today.
I think it'll be a really hard day, short but really hard.
And how's the team feeling this morning?
Yeah, I think they are all good. They are happy, motivated, and yeah, we will see what's coming.
Beautiful sunny day here at the Kent Cyclopark for Stage 2 of the Over Energy Women's Tour. 62.5 kilometres, 25 laps of a 2.5 kilometre circuit. Going into the stage, Jolien Dura in the overall leader's jersey. And Joe, good time to point out the pink ribbons. We've got our breast cancer care points jersey, but these pink ribbons really have a special meaning in this race.
Absolutely. So Breast Cancer Care is the official charity partner of the race, so it's a great chance to raise awareness of their charity. But what they've done for the last couple of years, each rider in the race has been given a pink ribbon personalised with a message from a lady affected by breast cancer. So it's a really sort of nice link to make it really personal, and a lot of the riders have really got behind it, and they've displayed that by putting it around a plait in their hair or on their bikes or on their jerseys somehow. So it's a lovely way to raise awareness of the charity and also give the riders sort of a bit of perspective and sort of something else, an extra meaning to the race.
So there's all your teams. And, going into today's stage, as your other jerseys, Christine Majerus in that Skoda Queen of the Mountains jersey, Corin Rivera starting today in that red Icebergs Sprints jersey. And Ellie Dickinson is wearing the blue jersey as the best British rider. After yesterday's stage win for Jolien Dura, it's Amy Peters who's wearing the pink jersey as the breast cancer care charity. She's second in that classification, and there she is on the back of the bike just alongside her teammate Chantal Black. What a great job that they did yesterday. 95 riders taking the start of today's stage. One retiree yesterday, Anna Trevisi, of Ale Cipollini. We saw her go down, unfortunately abandoned during the stage. And away we go, we are off and racing. The Mitchelton Scott riders on the back there. Trek Segafredo up towards the start here as well. Team Sunweb for Corin Rivera. Joe, this is one of those stages where the riders are going to have to be super vigilant, because you go into it, it's a shorter stage, but mechanical or a crash or something at the wrong time, and you could potentially lose a lot of time.
Absolutely. So when you've got a race that's 62 kilometres, it's easy to go into that thinking, oh, it's a shorter day today, this won't be too hard. But actually, it can be a very fast race, and you could lose a lot of time if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and get caught out. So everyone needs to be vigilant. It is going to be a hard race. We've often seen circuit races in tours before. We've had the stage in central London before, but this is the first time that we've featured a closed road circuit, a purpose-built cycling facility like the Cyclopark here in Kent.
And we're being led out by Ashley Moorman-Passio of Team CCC. Just a couple of the drops riders on the back of the bunch there. Anna Christian and Anna Payton. So just around the circuit, just see Trixie Warrack moving up in the centre there for Trek Segafredo. Team Bigler, only 4 riders taking to the start of the tour for Team Bigler. Again, in this position, Lizzie Dignan just coming up there in the blue and white for Trek Segafredo as well. Being on the back of this bunch around this circuit is not the place where you want to be.
Absolutely. So at the front, these riders here look quite in control. They're looking around at their teammates. But when you see the shots at the back of the bunch, everyone's having to sprint really hard out the corners. If you're at the front, you can take your own line and you can carry your speed. At the back, you're going to have to be braking hard and then sprinting really hard out the saddle just to hold the wheel in front. So definitely far easier at the front. And if you're at the back all day, it is going to be a hard day with many laps of this circuit to go.
We have sprints on laps 10, 15 and 20. Today's that's after 25, 37 and a half and 50 kilometres of today's stage. No climbs, so that Queen of the Mountains jersey for Christine Majerus is a welcome on the shoulders for another day. Team Sunweb, though, coming up towards the front. We just saw Corin Rivera, watching out for her in that red iceberg jersey today rather than her American National Champions jersey. And Team Sunweb, these intermediate sprints throughout this one, they did a great job yesterday leading out. We saw how Team Sunweb, they controlled this whole race last year to get Corin Rivera enough bonus seconds, so when they came to the climb, she had enough of a buffer just to hold that lead all the way to the finish. They don't have Ellen van Dijk this year. She's now moved across to Trek Segafredo, so the likes of Lizzie Dignan are going to be really pleased to have her. But Sunweb as well, they looked phenomenal on these intermediate sprints yesterday.
Absolutely. Well, as you say, Ellen van Dijk, super domestique. Whatever team she rides for, you need to be very proud to have her as your teammate. But this year, without Ellen van Dijk this year, Sunweb looking really, really strong. Clearly very organised yesterday. Clearly with a tactic going in to go for those intermediate sprints to get those points and get those time bonuses, which have been really crucial in every edition of this race that we've seen over the last few years. And once again, we've got the whole team on the front getting themselves organised for a lead out here at the Cyclopark in Kent.
You can see what a fast-flowing circuit it is. The Corin Rivera backed up by Suzanne Anderson, Leah Kirschman, Leanne Lippert, Flotia Mackay and Julia Sook. So just trying to lead her out on this one. See those orange jerseys of CCC? That's CCC Liv, Marianne Voss's team. Again, just on the back of this here, you see Amelie Deirdrickson there with that green number, the Danish national champions red and white jersey. Great job that she did yesterday, leading out for Jolien Dura. And again, Alice Barnes just up towards the front for Canyon Schramm, 1 kilometre up towards the line. This stage, though, has the Barnes sisters written all over it.
Absolutely. So I think Hannah Barnes was even actually born in Kent. So it's a brilliant race for her. And these girls in the UK would have been used to racing races like this as they grew up, youth riders, junior riders. So we very much know what we're doing on this sort of circuit, but it could be a little bit different for some of the foreign riders who aren't used to racing on these closed road circuits like this.
So look at the pace now as they come around towards the first intermediate sprint of the day. You can see the spectators just stepping back from the front. A couple of riders just going onto the grass there. This full lead out now for Corin Rivera, not only for that red iceberg intermediate sprints jersey, but to try and take this race overall. So 3, 2 and 1 bonus seconds on the line, 10, 6 and 4 at the finish. Now they're lining up. You can see here 300 meters to go up towards the line. And again, watch out for Bertazzolo of Team Virtu. She's just moving up on the outside as well. Corin Rivera, second wheel. They just come out of that little bend. Corin Rivera trying to get up onto the wheel of her teammate Voss on the left there in the orange. So Rivera, big lead out by her. Is that Lizzie Deignan that comes up as well? But it looks like Marianne Voss took that sprint. So really setting her stall out here. And it was Lizzie Deignan, you can see there, in the blue and white jersey with the rainbow bands on the cuffs of her jersey. And at the back, you can see a few riders just being stretched now under the pressure of this one.
That was an absolutely full gas sprint there, and Sunweb did everything right for Corinne Rivera, but Marianne Voss and Lizzie Deignan both riding the wheels really well. Their team expending no extra energy, but both of them scoring very, very highly in that sprint and taking some crucial seconds, which could be really important for the GC at the end of today and also as this whole race continues.
And again, straight after that sprint, you see the teammates coming up towards the front. The pressure really on. First sprint down. One sprint down, heading towards the second sprint of the day after 15 laps, 25 laps in total. This sprint, first one taken by Marianne Voss. No early breakaways, managed to stick. Joe, they're really keeping this race under control here.
Absolutely. So I think there were some attacks early on, but ultimately the teams with sprinters or with GC riders have really got the tactic to try and keep the race together and go for these intermediate sprints. We've got 3 intermediate sprints today, plus obviously the finish sprint. Each time, not only is there points on the line, but also bonus seconds, and we know how crucial that is to this race. But it seems like the tactic here, clearly a number of teams wanted to keep it together to launch their sprint or their GC rider into those sprints for some bonus seconds.
The Kent Cyclopark here, it's a great facility. There's racing and riding going on all the time. For anyone that comes out here, we call it the Wednesday Night World Championships, to see the likes of Ellen van Dijk and Marianne Voss riding around here. We used to have another circuit in London, the Eastway Circuit, which was made famous because Eddie Merckx raced there once. But this is quite a special moment for everyone coming and riding here after this.
Absolutely. It's a really versatile facility. There's mountain bike tracks and BMX tracks as well. It's somewhere I used to train. I used to go there and train on my time trial bike. I fiddle about with my position and that sort of thing. But to have, you know, the best women riders in the world racing around here, that's, you know, huge bragging rights. And for all the kids out there, all the little boys and girls that are starting out cycle racing, to be able to see these girls racing full gas around here, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, so we've got the Olympic Velodrome again, that's not far from here, and it's sort of the legacy of cycling, and that's what makes our sport so special, because I always say it's like pitching up at Old Trafford and being able to play on the same pitch as Man United, and that's kind of almost cycling's version of that.
Absolutely. So cycling's, I guess, a relatively rare sport, and that you can, you know, compete on the same roads as elite cyclists do, which doesn't happen so often in other sports. So it is brilliant that the race is here today, and hopefully it's inspiring people. And it's just so good to have a completely traffic-free facility as well. It's such a good opportunity for people to train on, develop their skills, whether it's bunch riding skills or just sort of general bike handling skills, without the challenge of the traffic as well.
We had the National Cyclocross Championships here earlier on in the year as well. By Tom Pidcock into the sprint lap. Ashley Moorman-Passio in that white South African national champions jersey. She has made a formidable partnership this year with Marianne Voss. There's Lisa Brennau in the red and blue of WNT. You can just see the German national champions stripes just on the cuffs of her jersey. And Sofia Bertazzolo for Team Virtu, a young rider, but over the opening couple of stages, she looks quite surprising. She's really getting up there in the sprints, and it looks like Team Virtu is starting to get behind her.
Absolutely. So you've got a 6-day stage race here, but I think sometimes if you've got an opportunity early on, you need to go for it. You need to not think too much about the rest of the race and almost treat each opportunity as and when it comes. Team
Virtu here. Dark blue and orange jerseys, a team of Marta Bastianelli. They're without her on this one, but as most teams, they just step up to the plate. Alei Cipollini in that fluorescent yellow colours as well. So the first sprint of the day, Voss from Deignan from Rivera. Corin Rivera, she's got Team Sunweb all on the front. You see Mariana Vos just taking to the grass there. Corin Rivera at the moment, she just looks like she's taking a while just to get into her stride in some of these sprints today.
Yeah, well, she was very strong yesterday and had a huge team lead out for the first sprint today, but Vos riding brilliantly to take that, and then Lizzie Deignan taking second place. So the beauty of this is you've got 3 attempts at the finish line before the actual finish of the stage. So by the end, you'll know exactly what side of the road you want to be on, what is the best line on each corner, what gear you need to be on for the sprint depending on the wind. So it's, you know, a brilliant opportunity to keep practicing that finish and then know exactly what you're doing at the end.
Amelie Deirdrickson on the back here, a Danish national champion for bull dummies. As a rider, it's not normally the place you want to be, but for someone of the class of Deirdrickson, she looks quite happy just spinning along on the back here.
She does. So normally it's a lot harder at the back because you're sprinting quite hard out of each corner, but perhaps she wants to have a little bit of a rest, not try and battle with those riders at the front. Bolstormer's not going for these intermediate sprints at the moment, and it is an opportunity to perhaps take a little bit of a rest and build herself up for the finish later.
Our cameraman going for a BAFTA there. We're coming off the daisies. Looking great. Beautiful shot there next. See the riders just talking into the radios. Aude Bionique coming through here towards the front in that French national champions tricolour jersey. Blue, white and red. Just looking around for her teammates. Roxane Fournier from Movistar had a great finish yesterday. Shayla Gutierrez as well is a great sprinter for Team Movistar. You see them in those light blue jerseys with the big M. And the French national champion just leading this one out. It looks like Lizzie Deignan again just keeps talking into the radio. Lizzie, former winner of this race, coming back into racing again, just taking a while just to find her legs over the first couple of days.
Yeah, she's looking really good today. You know, a nice position here at the front of the bunch. She snuck a second place in the previous sprint without really seeing much work from her team, but here she is again in a brilliant position.
Good communication there from Team Movistar. Oh, quick bike change there. Look at that. Mariana Vos. You see those rainbow cuffs on the jersey. That was a cyclocross bike change and a half there from Mariana Vos. You just saw how quickly she was off the bike and back on it. Beautifully done. But that takes her out of the sprint, back up to the front, and it looks like Gutierrez is coming through. Corin Rivera is there in second wheel. Good sprint. Shayla Gutierrez from Movistar, and it's Sunweb and Vertu that get up there. So that bike change costs Mariana Vos dearly there.
That was a brilliant display of bike handling skills, doing such a quick bike change there. But obviously, with that many metres to go before the finish, she was never going to be able to get herself up there for the sprint. But she's in the peloton already, not lost contact with the bunch, and I'm sure we'll see her working her way up again.
So her teammate is on the front, just trying to control things, Ashley Moolman-Passier. But a great sprint again. Shayla Gutierrez, former Spanish national champion. She is a fast finisher. She really has been flying the flag for Spanish cycling for many years, and with Team Movistar really is stepping up again. She's targeting all of these intermediate sprints. Amy Peters now comes through to the front in that pink jersey, the Breast Cancer Care Points jersey. It's her teammate Jolien Dura that's leading that. She's wearing the Green Ovo Energy Leaders jersey in this race today. Jolien Dura, we haven't seen her so far. She's been really quiet in this race.
Absolutely. Well, I think for someone like her and perhaps Amelie Deirdrickson as well, it's probably more about the stage wins early on. And they might have riders like such as Chantal Black and Amy Peters looking to go for the GC later in the race. It's very much, I think, a stage race of two halves, with the first 3 stages looking more sprint-based and the second 3 stages looking more climber-based. So at the moment, probably just saving herself and trying to go for another stage victory today.
So Deirdrickson now up towards the front. We're also seeing Sarah Reichers, the Austrian national champion for Team WNT. You've got 2 white national champions jerseys right in the centre of your picture. Małgorzata Jasinska of Team Movistar, the Polish national champion. She's right in the centre of your picture. We're starting to see the pink jerseys as well of Park Hotel Valkenburg. Lorena Wiebes is their fast sprinter, not here in this one. They've got the likes of Demi Vollering. Femke Marcus as well is another strong sprinter. Eri Yonamide as well, the Japanese national champion, coming up towards the front.
There'll be a lot of riders thinking today this could be their chance. It's a shorter day, the weather's better. I mean, there's always riders that relish the bad weather like we had yesterday, but there'll be a lot more riders thinking, now we've got a bit of better conditions today, I could fancy a little chance for myself today.
Could indeed. So some of the drops riders have just been quite noticeable at the back of the race. They had Abby May Parkinson off the front yesterday. What a phenomenal ride that Abby May did yesterday, just almost snatching the stage victory, just getting swept up in towards the finish. But now Team Trek Segafredo coming up. Trixie Worak on the front, just looking around for her teammates. Elisa Longoborghini is moving up towards the front as well. Lizzie Deignan looks like she's put the team to work for this next intermediate sprint. Remember, there's those bonus seconds on the line. Valcar in the pink and blue on the right, just moving up as well. Looks like Confalonieri just moving through. CCC on the left in the orange. Voss right back where she needs to be, up towards the front of this race.
In the previous sprint, we saw Lizzie Deignan right up there, but not actually scoring any points and doing a lot of talking on her radio. So perhaps she was saying to her teammates, I've got the legs here, but I need a bit more support. So now we're seeing all of the Trek Segafredo squad forming at the front for a big lead out.
Now Mormon Passia moves up. Here comes Ale Cipollini in those fluorescent yellow, black and orange colours. Chloe Hosking, great sprinter. Anuska Costa just gets squeezed on the outside of the bunch there for Team Virtu. You just see how flowing and sweeping this Cyclopark circuit is. So riders, just again, you just see, it's this point here, isn't it, when you go into this almost dead turn at the bottom. This is where it really hurts the legs out of this one.
Absolutely. So the runners in the front can carry their speed quite nicely, but at the back you'll be forced to brake and then forced to accelerate hard out the corner, which for a few times isn't too bad, but after 20, 25 plus laps gets very tough.
Again, you just see Deignan just Trixie Worak almost loses the back wheel there, just a little slide, and for someone of the experience of Trixie Worak, just kicked it back there.
Yeah, she held that up nicely there, so really pushing to the absolute limit, trying to take that corner as fast as possible and making everyone else fight to stay on her wheel.
Here they come, Trek Segafredo, great team. This is a new team this year. It's, now you have the Trek Segafredo men's and women's teams. The same with Team Movistar and Mitchelton Scott. A great setup, but look at the power now. They really have the pressure on, and you can see down the back just how much they are really making everyone cling on. Movistar coming up again, 500 meters to go up towards the line. Team Sunweb moving up on the right in your red and white jerseys. Where is that red Iceberg Sprints jersey of Corin Rivera? Remember, these all-important bonus seconds to battle for. Here come Movistar again. Remember that last sprint taken by Shayla Gutierrez, looking for another one. Leanne Lippert getting up there in third wheel now as they move through up towards the line. And on the outside, here goes the sprint now. So Lizzie Deignan just trying to come through on the right, but Elisa Longoborghini is the rider on the left. Lippert through the centre. So Longoborghini was on the right and just gets pipped on the line, it looked like there, by Leanne Lippert. And there's confirmation. So Lippert takes it from Deignan. Longoborghini just managing to kick back there, but she takes that 1 second as Hannah Payton just starts to slide off the back.
That was a lot of work there by the Trek Segafredo girls, but now using the opportunity to try and launch an attack as well and really string out this bunch.
They are indeed. So Trek Segafredo looking great on this stage 2. That's all 3 intermediate sprints down, the all-important one to come. 3.5 laps to go here on stage 2 of the Ovo Energy Women's Tour here at the Kent Cyclopark. Chantal Black on the front. It's going to be all rider down here from FDJ Aquitaine. Nothing really has stuck so far today with an early breakaway. Alice Barnes, the British rider for Canyon SRAM, getting away on a group of 3, but it was really Eleanor Cecchini, Canyon SRAM, her teammate, other rider, that just managed to get about 20 seconds off the front before being caught. But Joe, really, Trek Segafredo, Bull Diamonds, Movistar, they have just wanted to control this race from start to finish.
Absolutely, Sunweb as well for Corinne Rivera. So I think with the 3 intermediate sprints, that's 3 chances for points and 3 chances of bonus seconds, and we know how crucial they can be. So I think for those bigger teams, it's played into their hands to control the race and really attack those sprints. They know exactly where they're coming. They're passing over the finish line every lap, so there's no guessing as to where that sprint's coming. So it's an easy one to control in that sense.
So just getting paced back on now. Two riders here from FDJ. Chantal Black, though, towards the front. Chloe Hosking from Alei Cipollini. This group now, this is going to come down to a bunch sprint. Do you know what? It's stayed together a lot more than I thought it was. When we looked at the size of the circuit, the size of the peloton, I thought it was going to break up a lot more than it has.
Absolutely. So there's only really one hairpin bend that's really caused the riders to brake hard and have to sprint hard out of it. So that's the only one where we've seen, I think, a lot of work going in for the riders further back in the bunch, but at the front we've seen quite a lot of teams controlling it, going for those sprints. So if you're suffering, you know you've got those three big sprints to really hang on for and to really work hard in that bunch, and then you know the pace might come off a little bit after that.
I've seen now for the first time, there she is in that green OVO Energy Leaders jersey, yesterday's stage winner Yoli Dora, just coming up with Amy Peters, her teammate, Chantal Black on the front. They did a phenomenal job on the lead out. There you have it, 3 laps to go of this Kent Cyclopark circuit, and I think a few riders that have been down the back all day, they're going to be welcome the sound of the bell when we come around in a couple of laps time.
Absolutely. So the shortest stage of the race, having had an epic long day yesterday in the rain, that would have taken a lot out of the riders. So for some girls today it would be a chance to, it's not a rest at all because it's still a hard bike race, but it is relatively short compared to the other stages, so chance for a slight breather perhaps compared to yesterday and what's to come.
Now WNT moving through towards the front as well. Anna Christian there wearing number 81 for Team Drops. Mariana Voss's teammates here from CCC in the orange colours. So our FDJ Victoria Gilman is a rider that was drafted in late for Emilia Farlin. Here come the Park Hotel Valkenburg colours up towards the front of this race now. Ashley Moorman-Passio from CCC Live just moving through as well, up towards the front to try and lead out for Mariana Voss. The Movistar riders just getting clipped off the back here. Just seeing the blue jersey of Ellie Dickinson moving through as well. WNT, Lisa Brennauer, again, rider that was well up there in yesterday's sprint finish. Brennauer, a rider that you know really well, came in, we know her as a time trialist, but she's really, over the last couple of seasons, been sprinting really, really well.
She has. So as a junior, she was World Team Time Trial Champion. She's the same age as me, so she was someone that I always looked up to and aspired to sort of emulate some of her success. But over the years of her pro career on the road, she's been very successful on the track as well, but on the road, she really has established herself as a brilliant all-rounder. So not just time trialing and pursuiting, but you know, every sort of race. She is very skilled and very fast.
And she's a former winner of this race back in 2015. You see her sat there in second wheel behind her teammate Yoyan Dura. Just moves up. She's got Amy Peters right behind her. Chloe Hosking as well moving through. Yesterday's stage, it was Dura from her teammate Peters, Brennau, Fournier, Voss, Hosking, Confalonieri, Gutierrez, Leth and Roy. Sarah Roy again from Mitchelton Scott. She's won 2 stages over the last couple of seasons in this race. Roy, as her teammates just call her, she's again another rider that we can watch out for come the finish.
At the moment, it's good to see some of the Bowles Dolmans riders up there. They've not done much in this race today in terms of the intermediate sprints, but yesterday they got their day very, very right, taking 3 jerseys. Of course, Christine Majerus in the Queen of the Mountains jersey, plus getting first and second on the stage. So that was a brilliant day out for them, but now they're really thinking about the finish of this one.
I think for me, though, at the moment, Brennauer, she's just got one teammate in front of her. I think she's a little bit early to have to be down to just one rider in front of her to try and control this. WNT Rota could do with a couple of more riders moving up to try and lead out Lisa Brennauer? Or do you think she's just trying to keep out of trouble?
I think at this point it's trying to keep out of trouble as well. F1 wants to be at the front. F1, all the DSs will be telling their riders, move up, move up, move up. And of course you can have that in your ear, but F1's got the same agenda. So if you can hang her out near the front, you know, second wheel is fine. You know, you're not in the wind, but you're keeping yourself out of trouble in a good position.
And one rider that is moving up, you see Ellen Van Dijk with Lizzie Dignan, Trixie Warrack. Little symbol there from Trixie Warrack just to tell her teammates to get on the wheel. So now Trek Segafredo, they've controlled this race perfectly. 2 laps to go. Lizzie Dignan, again, a super fast finisher.
Yeah, so Lizzie as well, a really strong all-rounder, can climb really well, strong in a team time trial as well, but we saw her go for 2 of these sprints, the first one without much team support and the second one with a lot more team support. So I think she'll be thinking, right, I've had a couple of goes at this finish now, I think I know what I'm doing. Now with 2 teammates up there, Trixie Warwick and Ellen van Dijk, both, you know, supremely talented riders in their own right, now working for Lizzie on this finish, this could be a brilliant finish for the British rider today.
It could indeed. Paulina Roy-Akers from CCC right on the back. Canyon Schramm again trying to keep Kasia Nuvedoma out of trouble. Hannah Barnes as well, watch out for her in towards the finish. I'm just seeing Barbara Gorishki in the blue and orange colours of Team Virtu also moving up now towards the front. Again, the tight twists and turns of this circuit, it's very, very difficult to get more than one lead out, really, to get control over this one. So all the teams maybe sit back and play off Trek Segafredo into this final lap.
Absolutely, so you've got a team that's clearly taken control here, but if you can get your sprinter on the back of that train, if you can look after that rider, you can let them do the work at this point. They've done so many laps of this circuit, they know exactly what they're doing on each bend, they know the perfect line to take, they know the right gear to be in, so it is all now about the positioning coming into this final sprint.
Manon Lloyd on the back here, you can see the high pace that they've got here. It looks like Abigail Van Twisk of Trek Segafredo just getting dropped off the back of this into the final lap, while her teammate Ellen van Dijk, the European time trial champion, and again we talk about legends, Ellen van Dijk, another legend of women's pro cycling.
Absolutely, so she's won so many races in her own right, everything from the Tour of Flanders to being world time trial champion, but also an amazing domestique, brilliant rider to do a lead out, amazing ability to completely string out a peloton, and here this is exactly what she's doing now, making everyone else suffer.
So Abby Van Twist, the rider that's on the back for Trek Segafredo, she was here last year with drops. You see Canyon Schramm trying to bring Hannah Barnes through. Watch out for Amy Peters as well in that pink points jersey of breast cancer care. She's got that. She's second in that classification. But if Yolene Dura doesn't fancy a sprint today, you can't discount Amy Peters as well. You can still see the 4 riders on the front here from Trek Segafredo, led out by Ellen van Dijk. Right behind her, Trixie Warwick, Lizzie Dignan, and then Elisa Longoborghini. Longoborghini just running a little bit of interference here just behind Lizzie Dignan, just to make sure that no one gets on the wheel.
Absolutely, so that's brilliant if you've got a teammate that can do that, because everyone in the bunch will be ducking and diving, trying to get on the wheel of the sprinter. But with Elisa Longoborghini there, she can just get in the way and just make sure no one has prime position on Lizzie Dignan's wheel coming into this sprint.
So Barbara Gorishki, looks like she's bringing Berta Zolo through towards the front. There's Lizzie Banks as well. Brennauer just moving up on the outside. They just want to try and find their way in onto the wheels of this one. They're going to come round this time. They're going to get the welcome sound of the bell. We're seeing Team Sunweb move up. There's Voss on the left there in the orange. You can see those world champion stripes on the cusp of her jersey. Floortia Mackay from Sunweb in that red and white jersey. Voss just finding her way through. Sarah Roy is there. Chloe Hosking as well. Brennauer right onto the wheel of the Trek Segafredo train.
All the big names are up there, but it is Trek Segafredo completely in control, and that's Marianne Voss on the left of your screen there in the orange jersey, just trying to make her way around and get herself onto a better wheel coming into this final lap.
So a few riders just getting dropped off the back here. The pace has been super high from start to finish. Still Ellen van Dijk leading out here for Trek Segafredo. This corner here, they had to push it to the limit on this one. Few riders further back, they'll be welcoming the finish line today in this one. But after a tough day in the rain yesterday, beautiful sunny day here in Kent, but Ellen van Dijk really has the pressure on now, looking down that line. Rivera is there in that red Iceberg Sprints jersey. Roy is moving up as well for Mitchelton Scott, but Voss poised and ready. Team Sunweb trying to get Rivera, and you can see Corin Rivera there just talking into her radio, just looking for those teammates.
Absolutely, so Corinne Rivera there on the wheel of Elisa Longoborghini on the back of the Trek Segafredo train, but without many of her teammates around her at the moment.
Indeed, now the on the front you just see the way this just swoops down. Everyone is battling for position. Aude Bionic from Movistar maybe looking to try and get Roxanne Fournier back up into a position, but Shayla Gutierrez has been battling out for the intermediate sprints. A couple of riders just cutting the grass as they go through there. Again, you can see the pressure on down the back as riders battle to just hang on to the back of the peloton. No one wants to lose any seconds at all here.
Absolutely. So Ellen van Dijk absolutely stringing this peloton out completely, and it's been a hard day in the saddle on a relatively short stage, but very, very fast run race here today.
Yes, indeed. Now you've got to pay back the teammates for the work. So looking down the line, the 4 riders from Trek Segafredo as they go through the Flamme Rouge. 1 kilometre to go. Bald almonds in those orange jerseys looking to try and get themselves up there. But Ellen van Dijk really has the pressure on here. Kasia Nieuwedoma is well up there as well for Canyon Schramm. Sarah Roy as well. But they're going to have to push it now to try and get past Trek Segafredo. You see those gaps starting to open in the peloton behind.
These are such good bike handlers. So Lizzie Dignan there in third wheel, looking really, really comfortable, obviously feeling good. A quick look over her shoulder to see who's behind her, but currently it's her team completely in control here today.
Now they're going to run up towards the line. The final few corners here on the Kent Cyclopark. The riders on the back, the teammates of the likes of Marianne Vos. They're going through here. 300 metres to go. They're going to go through here, and it's still Trek Segafredo that have the front of this race. And right on the wheel, Lizzie Dignan. There is Corin Rivera. Now the lead out starts. The teammates of Rivera have got the front. It's a little small group now. And look at Marianne Vos on the left in the orange. Dignan tries to come through. Marianne Vos, though, the legend, the icon. Is she going to take it? Yes, she is. Marianne Vos. Big celebration from Vos. Dignan and Roy well up there, but Marianne Vos found her way through.
Absolutely incredible sprint there by Vos, using the lead out trainer Trek Segafredo, taking an amazing victory there today.
And there you have it, Marianne Vos, another celebration takes the stage. The win on the Kent Cyclopark stage goes to Marianne Vos, with Lizzie Dignan in second and Sarah Roy in third. Having made that early break, Elena Cecchini came home in fourth. So Marianne Vos takes her 5th stage win on the Women's Tour. Corin Rivera holds on to the Iceberg Sprints jersey. Elena Cecchini was rewarded for her attempted breakaway with the Wahooligan Combativity Award. After finishing runner-up today, Lizzie Dignan takes over as the best British rider.
I've not done circuit racing for such a long time, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was different, and yeah, I felt like I got better and better throughout the stage. That was nice.
And Marianne Vos was back on the podium as the new leader of the OVO Energy Women's Tour. So after stage 2, Marianne Vos has a 9-second lead over Lizzie Dignan and Amy Peters. Corin Rivera is 4th at 10 seconds, just ahead of Sarah Roy and Lisa Brennauer.
We predicted a bunch sprint for today, and Marianne Vos delivered. That was spectacular to watch. Talk us through those closing laps, though, because Trek Segafredo took it on early from the front there.
Well, it was a short stage, so from the start it was fast. There were some attacks, but it was actually quite clear that it was not going to stick, because it's so fast in the bunch and it's rolling, and in the front it's so hard. So with the team, we tried to stay calm. We tried to stay in a good position in the front to save as much as possible. But yeah, you need to be in front to be ready for the final sprint. And yeah, Trek Segafredo did a really good lead out. And I was just behind that. And I think I got lucky. It opened up, and I thought, okay, now I'll just go and I'll see how far I can get. We have the stage win. The pressure is off a little, and of course, there's more days to come, so we'll focus on the next days. But yeah, this is one we have.
Rhoda, thank you for joining us. Congratulations. That's all from us here in Kent. Tomorrow we head to Henley. Join us at the same time then for all the action from stage 3.